Congressman, thanks so much for joining us on the program today. It is so good to see you again.
Well, Cam, great to be with you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I know that this is a very busy week there on Capitol Hill. I don't know how much sleep you're getting. It looks like it's going to be another late night for the Rules Committee, maybe an early morning. Let's get right to it here. You are one of those who are advocating for more benefits, quite frankly, to gun owners, right? When it comes to suppressors, when it comes to short-barreled firearms, you want to see this reconciliation bill improved in a number of ways.
Well, actually, what I'm advocating for is a restoration of our constitutional rights. That's the whole point right there. We've got an issue now. In fact, for the last 90 years, we have been suffering under the draconian National Firearms Act, which taxes a constitutional right. Now, think about it. We have a $400 short shotgun. It has a $200 tax on it. I mean, that is absolutely ridiculous. You know, in 1819, Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, John Marshall, said the power to tax includes the power to destroy. If you can tax something, you can destroy it. So if you can tax a constitutional right, then you can destroy that constitutional right. You can raise the tax so high that people cannot afford to pay it, and therefore they have no constitutional right. So is it really a constitutional right? It's not if you can tax it. So this is a perfect opportunity with this reconciliation bill to eliminate the taxation of an unalienable constitutional right, which should not be there in the first place, but it's there, so we've got to do something to get rid of it. And this is the perfect opportunity. We can do that for suppressors, $200 tax stamp on the transfer and making tax. We can do that on short barrels, short-barreled rifles, short-barreled shotguns, and AOWs, any other weapons, also that are short barrels. So we should be able to do this because we don't need any Democrat votes in the Senate. We can bypass the filibuster through budget reconciliation. And eliminating the taxation is the perfect fit for budget reconciliation, because in order to pass what's called the Byrd Rule in the Senate, which is a measure of, is it policy or is it taxing? Well, this is taxing. So if you remove the tax, then you can include, or if the bill removes the tax, then it is correct to include it in the bill. And we can eliminate the Senate filibuster, so we can do this with only Republican votes. It should be a no-brainer for folks here in Congress to do this.
It should be, and yet, as things stand right now, the language of the reconciliation bill only includes dropping that $200 tax for transfer tax on suppressors. So, Representative Clyde, where is the hangup?
That's the question I've been asking leadership. So everybody that hears your voice right now and sees what you're doing and hears me needs to be calling our leadership, calling their representatives and saying, hey, we want you to eliminate the tax on suppressors and short barrels. That's as clean as it gets right there. Eliminate that tax and restore our constitutional rights, that have been denied us for the last 90 plus years. And so this is the time to do it. What's in the bill right now, you're correct, is only eliminating the transfer tax on suppressors, not the making tax. And so the Form 4 tax, but not the Form 1 tax. And then you also have the registration that has to be dealt with, because the database, the registration database, is a database of the tax. When the two go together. If you eliminate the tax, there's no foundation for the database. All right. And so that's the whole point right there. And we need to do that. We need to eliminate it. I'm working hard to ensure that we get rid of both the making and transfer tax of suppressors and eliminate the registration, so it is no longer a National Firearms Act weapon. And I'm also doing that for short barrels as well. We've got more progress on suppressors than we do on short barrels, but we need both right now.
What, if you don't mind me asking, what are you hearing from leadership? Because I know that you sit on the Rules Committee, right?
No, I'm sorry. I'm on the budget.
On the Budget Committee, excuse me. Yes. And you were one of those who voted present because you were not satisfied with the current language of the reconciliation bill. So what conversations can you tell us that you've had with leadership, and do you feel like progress is being made?
Well, I think progress is being made on suppressors. All right. We've had conversations, asking of leadership number one, if you're going to do the transfer tax, you've got to do the making tax and you've got to do the registration, because doing one without the other two just doesn't make sense and really is kind of a quarter of a win. It's not a win, or not a full win at all, because suppressors still stay as a restricted firearm within the National Firearms Act, because you still have the making tax on them. So that's a big issue right there. I think I'm cautiously optimistic that we will gain that win. All right. Haven't seen the text yet. So until we actually see the text, all right, then and they agree to that text, then as leadership says, nothing is for sure right now. Anything in what's called a manager's amendment. That manager's amendment will be voted on in rules. So I'm expecting, at 1 a.m. tomorrow morning. So I'm expecting to see that manager's amendment sometime late this afternoon or early this evening. So we are continuing to advocate for having suppressors and short barrels in the manager's amendment. And my present vote was to send a signal that we're not there yet, and my vote's not there yet. We need to get this Second Amendment issue into the manager's amendment in order for my vote to be there with them.
I was going to say, is that a red line for you then on the reconciliation bill as a whole?
Well, I haven't drawn any red lines just yet, but it's a possibility. It certainly is.
Okay. And again, I mean, as you say, the Rules Committee going to be meeting, starting at 1 a.m. Wednesday morning. I guess my next question is, are members of Congress listening? If I call up Representative McGuire, who's my representative right now, is his office going to take notice at this late date, at this late hour, that I'm advocating to get this manager's amendment that includes language to repeal the both taxes regarding suppressors, to take the taxes and registration out of short-barreled rifles and shotguns?
Well, I think that he certainly should. I mean, we still have time. The amendment is not final. So, until probably middle of the evening, I don't expect the text to be final. So I would absolutely ask people, call your representative. You call your representative and say, you need to tell the Speaker's office that I want to see short barrels removed from the National Firearms Act. The taxation, say it this way, I want the taxation gone from suppressors and short barrels, both. That's what needs to happen. This is really our only opportunity to do this. And the president, I believe, will have no issue with signing the bill with that. It will be a massive win for the Second Amendment community. I don't believe any president other than Donald Trump can actually do this if he'll engage on it. And I believe he would certainly sign it. So we need to be aggressive, need to be proactive, and we need to encourage leadership and not give up until it's in the manager's amendment.
Yeah, when I asked, where is the hangup here? Have you heard? I mean, are there specific members of Congress who have said that they'll balk if this language is included in the bill?
Well, you have some moderates, and you can kind of guess who they are.
Yeah,
that just are not Second Amendment advocates at all. All right. But they can be persuaded. And I've had conversations with some of them individually. I just want to educate them. I mean, if you look at a say a shockwave, a Mossberg shockwave, okay, it's slightly over 26 inches in length. If it has the hourglass pistol grip on it, then it's just a firearm. It's a handheld, smoothbore pistol, basically. But if you put a vertical pistol grip on the back that makes it shorter than 26 inches, it's now an AOW. All right. If you take a pistol, a regular AR-15 pistol, and you add a brace to it, well, within the current rule that has not yet been struck down completely, you now have a unregistered short-barreled rifle, which is completely wrong. And so it makes no sense. And I'll tell you that that leadership actually understands that, but we have some folks that needs to be brought to their attention, and I'm working very hard to do that with these people.
Yeah,
to bring it to their attention and to educate them that these are not weapons that you get traces on, and these are not weapons that need to be part of the National Firearms Act with a $200 tax stamp on them.
Absolutely. And I mean, listen, I know the argument about optics, and I know, the argument, well, Democrats are going to say this is a gift to criminals. They say that for any piece of legislation that enhances or protects our Second Amendment rights. We cannot base our votes, we cannot base our positions on the lies and the disinformation that's going to come from folks who want to strip us of our constitutionally protected rights.
That's correct. You're 100% spot on, Cam. I mean, this is an issue that should not be a problem for all Republicans. We campaign on this. Well, let's advocate for it then. Be strong and stand for the Second Amendment. The amount of, the actual amount of tax that is paid on short-barreled rifles and short-barreled shotguns is not a drop in the bucket. It's not even a rounding error compared to, $7 trillion government budget and a $2 trillion deficit. It's a very, very, very small amount of money, and it would be a massive win for our constitutional rights.
Well, absolutely. And I hope we get there. Representative Clyde, again, thank you so much for joining me today. Can we have you back on the program when the dust has settled and we see what this bill actually looks like?
Yes, you can. I would be happy to be back on the program after the dust is settled and the president has signed the bill, or at least it's passed the House. Absolutely. Happy
all right.
to.
Well, thank you so much again for joining us today, Representative Clyde. Thank you for all your work in trying to make this bill as strong as possible when it comes to our Second Amendment rights, and look forward to talking to you again in the very near future.
Thank you. Great to be with you.